Good morning, everyone. Thank you for being here. My name is State Representative Cynthia Soto, and I am the co-chair of the Latino Caucus for the state of Illinois. Again, today we are we're here together with our county and local elected officials, our aldermen. We have Senator Tony Munoz. Oh, I'm sorry, that is on his way. We have Representative Hernandez, who is on her way, but will be here. We have Alderman Danny Solis. We have Alderman Rick Munoz. We have Alderman Ariel Reyboras. We have Cook County Commissioner Jesus Garcia here. And thank you for being here. We have parents here. We have leaders from our community organizations. And today we are here in regards to Senator Kirk's vote no to advance Senate Bill 744. That's the immigration reform bill. And we're very upset, as maybe you can notice in my voice. We are here with our Latino legislators. And what we want to say is that we are looking for a yes vote from our U.S. federal senator. So I have some talking points that I want to just mention. Mark Kirk's racial blind spot to the pain of the Black and Latino communities is evidenced by his ill-thought-out proposal to lock up 18,000 mainly Black youth. And his vote for a filibuster to block the consideration of immigration reform is deeply troubling. We are here united to tell Senator Kirk to stop being blind to the pain of Latino and immigrant families, stop practicing the non-negative politics, and support immigration reform. This past Tuesday, Senator Kirk sided with the most hateful, and I mean hateful, and racial senators in his party voting no to proceed on immigration, while 1,100 families continue to be separated each day in Illinois. 56,108 children have lost parents due to deportation, and we saw some of that yesterday, didn't we? Latino families are being destroyed by Senator Kirk. He has been deaf to the pain while unwilling to offer any useful solution. So he has no solutions to this bill, and we're not very happy with him. Latino legislators and Latino elected officials at this historic location, Benito Juarez High School, where we signed the Illinois Dream Act 2 years ago, want to send a clear message to Senator Kirk that the Latino community will never forget, and we will never forgive him if he votes no on this immigration reform bill. Last November, Latinos grew 12% of the Illinois electorate from 8% in 2008. And 4 Republicans, Biggert, Dole, Walsh, and Schilling, lost to 4 Democrats, Foster, Schneider, Duckworth, and Bustos. Every month, 50,000 new Latino citizens turn 18 in Illinois and can vote. Yes, they can vote. With Father's Day approaching this Sunday, does Senator Kirk support Latino fathers? Does Senator Kirk support Latino families? Again, as Latino legislators of the state, we are deeply disturbed, and Latino elected officials, we are deeply disturbed by Senator Kirk's racial blind spot and utter disregard for pain of Latino families in our state. We urge you to change your mind, Senator Kirk. Change your heart, or at least read the writings on the wall. Demographics is destiny. Are you a leader of the party of Lincoln and emancipation, or are you the leader of the party of deportation? Please stop the excuses and support the immigration reform bill. I also want to mention some of the policy institutes from Immigration Policy Institute. 10% of the registered voters in Illinois are naturalized citizens. Immigrants comprise of 7.6% of the state's workforce. The 2012 purchasing power of Illinois Latinos is a total of $46.1 billion. Agents' buying power totaled at $28.7 billion. How about that? Those numbers? Yes. They're very impressive. So I hope he gets the message. Okay, and in Illinois, 56,567 Latinos own businesses and had sales receipts of $10.3 billion and employed 77,449,000. in '07. The last year for each which data is available, the state's 59,367 Asian-owned businesses had sales of receipts of $18.5 billion and employed 102,991 people, according to the U.S. Census Bureau in 2007 survey of business owners. So again, we urge Senator Kirk to vote yes on the immigration reform, Senate Bill 744, and I'm going to let some of my other elected official friends come up and speak. Thank you.
Thank you very much. I went to sleep a little bit past my bedtime last night, so I think what Cynthia has said has hit the mark. And what Senator Kirk has used as an argument that he wants the border more secure. It doesn't make sense. It doesn't make sense when you think that over $17 billion are being spent on border security right now. And that's more than the CIA, the FBI, the ATF, and the Secret Service are getting. And then when you consider that right now, there's zero net migration from Mexico coming right now. And then when you further consider that the two border senators that are voting for this bill, Senator Flake and Senator McCain, they're both supporting this bill. And then when you know, put aside what I consider the politics of stupidity in terms of not learning the lesson of what happened in November's election. But then remember that last year, Senator Kirk went to a very personal health situation. And millions of Americans, not just from Chicago, not just from Illinois, but from across the country, expressed their sympathies. And the reason I raise that is because when Cynthia talks about 56,000 children just from the state of Illinois who are losing their families, and 1,100 people being deported every day, that is also a human condition that also deserves some empathy, some sympathy in terms of a leader like Senator Kirk is supposed to be. And so his argument is wrong. The senators that represent the border states that are most affected by that disagree with him. The $17 billion that is being spent on security, you can only come to the conclusion that Cynthia alluded to, and that is there something about Senator Kirk where he doesn't respect minorities, whether it's African Americans and Hispanics. And so we're pleading with him, consider, reflect, have a little empathy to yourself, and think about supporting this bill. Otherwise, there will be political consequences, which he may not face till 2016, but 2014 is just around the corner, and Republicans will get the effects of this vote that he is pursuing right now. Thank you.
Yes, I'd like to acknowledge the presence of Representative Elizabeth Hernandez and Alderman Ray Colon, who have also joined us for this press conference. This morning, I want to appeal to Senator Kirk's moral compass, to his love of country, because he is a veteran of the armed forces of this country. And I also want to ask him to step back and reconsider what he has done, and to think about why a senator in the U.S. Congress, Senator Lindsey Graham, would vote in favor of moving legislation in terms of the immigration debate in Congress forward, and Illinois senator would vote against it. It is unconscionable. We are shocked and dismayed that he has represented the state of Illinois in this manner, a state that has so much diversity and vibrancy, a state that distinguishes itself because it has the Illinois Business Council urging him to do the right thing, to think about the future of this country, the future of the state, the economics and what immigrants bring, the immigrant labor force brings to this country. This is about thinking into the future. It's about forward thinking, but there is a key moral human element that we believe has been discarded. We ask Senator Kirk to reflect upon the subject before him. It's about people. It's about kids. It's about families. It's about undocumented young immigrants who have served in this country's armed forces, who were willing to sacrifice everything that he was willing to sacrifice as a member of the armed forces. We believe that Senator Kirk has a good place about him. We believe that there is a strong streak of decency in him. We would ask him to revisit that aspect of his humanity, but to also be practical about the future of the country. The numbers in the immigrant community will only increase. If he cares about the future of his party and keeping it viable, he will think forward and he will change his vote as this matter comes to a full discussion in the United States Senate. Senator Kirk, we ask you to do the right thing by Illinois.
Good morning. State Representative Lisa Hernandez. When I first became aware of the vote from Senator Kirk, it was pretty alarming. I think that our communities have long awaited for immigration reform to occur. I think that while Washington is trying to move in that direction, our families continue to be separated. Illinois has been the example of immigration reform moving ahead. I think that in many pieces of legislation and in many ways, Illinois has led the way that it makes sense. It makes sense. So I like to think that maybe Senator Kirk has not been informed that we do have security at the borders, that there has been significant funding placed to keep the border secure. We need to move beyond that. And I think that it's been demonstrated, especially through Illinois' push, that immigration needs to occur now. And this is for our families, for our country to move ahead. Yes, I agree. Senator Kirk, reassess your thinking. Do the right thing. Thank you. I will do this in Spanish. So give me just. So, nuestra comunidad ya ha esperado más que suficiente por una reforma migratoria. Mientras el debate en Washington continúa, nuestras familias siguen siendo separadas. Necesitamos una reforma migratoria justa y ya, con un alto a las deportaciones y que garantice el camino a la ciudadanía. Illinois es un estado que históricamente le ha abierto sus brazos a los inmigrantes y valores su trabajo y sus grandes contribuciones. Como representante de este gran estado, el senador Kirk debe reconsiderar su posición tomando el liderazgo y haciendo justicia para los 11 millones de inmigrantes indocumentados que continúan en las sombras de la espera. No más excusas. Reforma migratoria ya. Gracias.
Good morning, everyone. As a member of the Latino caucus and as alderman of the 30th Ward, I'm here because I think it's about time. And Senator Kirk, I'm not going to speak negatively about you or what your decisions are or who you're listening to. I will say this, that you're a very smart senator, you're very intelligent, you have good morals, and I think you're going to make the right choice. And the choice is now, that we need to move immigration reform now, today. We can't move forward. We can't think about this in the future. Como concejal del Distrito 30, no quiero hablar negativo del senador Kirk, pero obviamente está escuchando a otras personas que no piensan, los ideales de ellos son diferentes a los de nosotros. Estamos aquí con mis colegas, miembros de la comunitaria. El senador Kirk, no se le puede olvidar que el latino no va a ser la minoría pronto, va a ser la mayoría. Y nunca nos vamos a olvidar dónde estamos hoy y cómo vamos para el futuro. Pensamos que ya es tiempo, ya basta que tome una decisión responsable como el senador que es. Muchas gracias.
Me han pedido que hable en español los puntos que yo traté. Déjeme decir que esto es muy importante. Ahorita el senador Kirk está diciendo que quiere más seguridad en términos de la reforma migratoria. Ahorita se están gastando más de 17 billones de dólares, más que recibe el CIA, el FBI, el Secret Service, el ATF, más que todos estos grupos en total. Al mismo tiempo, los senadores Flake y los senadores McCain, que representan a estados en el border de Estados, en la frontera donde está México y Estados Unidos, están opuestos al senador Kirk y están a favor de la legislación que se ha propuesto. Y luego al mismo tiempo lo que traté de decir es que el año pasado el senador pasó una tragedia en términos de su salud personal y millones de personas, incluyendo indocumentados de esta ciudad, de este estado, de este país entero, estuvo él en sus oraciones y sus sentimientos. La razón que pongo este punto aquí ahorita es que los 56,000 jóvenes que han perdido sus familias, más de 1,000 personas que cada día están deportadas, estas también son historias humanas que merecen las oraciones, los sentimientos de gente como el senador Kirk. Por favor, conocemos que es una persona que ha servido a este país bien, que es una persona que tiene gran moralidad, pero estamos preguntando qué es lo que está pasando en su mente para estar en contra de esta reforma y la legislación que es muy humana, y pedimos que él considere su voto y lo cambie. Muchas gracias.
I'm Ricardo Munoz, alderman of the 22nd Ward, and I'm a lifelong Democrat. So I'm the last person to be giving advice to a Republican senator on how to vote. But we're not talking about Democrats versus Republicans. We're talking about a bipartisan initiative where people have negotiated a comprehensive immigration reform that is going to put this nation's conscience at rest. Why do I say that it's going to put this nation's conscience at rest? Is because it is unconscionable that we are separating these thousands and thousands of families. It is unconscionable that these millions, 11 million people are working and living in this country in the shadows of our system. It is unconscionable that a senator from Illinois, one of the most immigrant-friendly states in the country, would even think of siding with the politics of hate, with the politics of repression. There are some in his party that have put forward amendments, most notably the Cronin Amendment, that says we don't want to even consider citizenship until there's these little biometric machines at every entry point, at every border, at every airport in the country. That is ludicrous. That is crazy. Even senators of his own party have called it a poison bill, a very poisonous bill, because we're talking about comprehensive immigration reform that has been negotiated by both parties. So there's no reason why Senator Kirk should be voting against this, the legislative procedures to bring this debate to the floor of the Senate and then of the House. Yo, como demócrata, soy la última persona que le debe estar dando consejos a un senador republicano. Pero aquí estamos para demandarle que cambie su voto. Aquí estamos para demandarle que cambie su pensamiento, porque no es justo de que él como republicano, aunque los republicanos son parte de las negociaciones de esta iniciativa comprensiva de reforma migratoria, no es justo que él esté tomando el lado de la política de este odio, la política antimigrante, la política que no quiere que se adopte esta legislación, siendo de Illinois, uno de los estados que es más amistoso para los inmigrantes, siendo de Illinois, no es justo de que él haya votado en contra de esta legislación, y le rogamos, le demandamos, le suplicamos que cambie su pensamiento. Muchas gracias.
Good morning, Alderman Ray Colon, 35th Ward. And as I was rolling over here from Humboldt Park this morning down Ashland Avenue, I couldn't help but notice the number of businesses, people power washing their sidewalks, businesses that are immigrants, businesses that are fueling our economy. These are Senator Kirk's constituents. The children in this school are Senator Kirk's constituents. And all these people are crying out for a reform, and it's within his hands and he has the power to be able to move this issue forward. And so we're calling on him not to hide behind the excuse of the borders, but to step forward and to be a leader, to be vocal about his position on this, and to represent us, represent his community in his state and his city. So we're calling and urging Senator Kirk to please do the right thing. As you've heard here, we different parties here, but this is not a party issue. This is a human issue, and we're calling on Senator Kirk to be humane about this human issue and to step forward and do the right thing. Thank you.
Yo soy Emma Lozano de Familia Latina Unida, y lo que tengo aquí en mis manos son los niños ciudadanos nacidos aquí en este país, o Dreamers, que les dieron la acción diferida. Y todos ellos tienen padres que han sido deportados o están en procedimientos de deportación. Este senador Kirk no tiene el derecho de votar en contra de la propuesta de ley que puede reunificar estas familias. Le pedimos que él, pues, investiga su motivo, su conciencia, y tenga un corazón para estas familias. Tenemos aquí a una familia donde la hija dio su vida en Kuwait, murió en la guerra, y después están deportando a su papá. Cada día 1,400 personas están siendo deportadas. Nosotros estamos aquí para decirle al senador Kirk que él tiene que votar a favor de una propuesta de ley que ya trae la justicia. Ya tenemos todo el consenso. La mayoría de los Estados Unidos está a favor de no separar estas familias. La democracia se tiene que llegar a cumplirse, y ya tenemos republicanos como demócratas a favor. Lo que necesitamos es que él abre sus ojos, abre su mente, y que nos dé ya pues la legalización que tanto lo necesitamos y lo merecemos. I'm Emma Lozano from Familia Latina Unida. I'm also the pastor of Lincoln and Adalberto Church. I'm calling on Senator Kirk to open his heart, open his mind. The children on here are U.S. citizen children, and they have at least one parent who is a U.S. citizen. The other parent has been deported or will be deported or detained. We're asking him, he has the power to use his vote to do the right thing. The consensus, the polls have been taken, and the United States is in favor of keeping these families together. We have Republicans in favor of doing it, Democrats in favor of doing it. Why he's come up with this idea about the border, I think, is an excuse, but we're calling on him to open his heart and to help us reunify these families and to pass immigration reform that we have so long waited. The time is now, so Senator Kirk, do the right thing. God bless you.
Good morning. Maria Pesqueira with Mujeres Latinas en Acción and board member of the Illinois Coalition for Immigrant and Refugee Rights. Soy María del Socorro Pesqueira, la directora ejecutiva de Mujeres Latinas en Acción, al igual que soy miembro de la mesa directiva de la Coalición Pro Inmigrantes del Estado de Illinois. Estoy aquí representando a voces de familias, madres y familias, que le piden solamente una cosa a este republicano, al senador Kirk. El ver lo que es la importancia de la familia en este país y lo que nuestras familias inmigrantes dan para invertir a este país. I represent a group of families who really are asking Senator Kirk to step back and look at the importance of families in this nation and keeping families together. We know that as a result of the deportations, we know as a result of a lack of comprehensive immigration reform, we have children who will go who become basically orphans with a parent. I'm saying orphans because they lose parents and become orphans to in this nation, who are U.S. citizens. Sabemos de que desafortunadamente sin el tener la reforma migratoria, tenemos a hijos en este país quienes son ciudadanos estadounidenses y al igual no tienen aquí a sus padres, pierden a sus padres y se hacen huérfanos en este sistema. So we ask Senator Kirk to do the right thing. Yes, he took a vote that was ill thought through, but I know that moving forward, he has the opportunity to do the right thing and to think of the importance of keeping families together and keeping in mind the importance of immigrants in this nation. Thank you.
Okay, I want to thank everyone for being here. Again, un mensaje para el senador Kirk. Por favor, danos el voto que necesitamos y es el voto que dice que sí para la reforma inmigratoria. Gracias a todos. Thank you, everyone, for being here today. Yes. Questions? Yes.
Yes.
So if Senator Kirk, when it all comes through the wash, if he should vote in favor of acceptable immigration reform, all is forgotten. Is that?
Well, we'll be happy. We'll be happy with him. And we will also send it in writing, right, member? We can send a letter and saying, thank you for supporting the bill. Yes, we will be happy that he's, so I'm hoping that he votes his conscience and votes yes on the bill. Vamos a seguir con lo que estamos haciendo.
Y vamos a organizar el voto en 2014 and if he doesn't do it, we'll continue to organize like we did in November for the 2014 election and also for the 2016 election. Y si no lo hace, vamos a continuar a organizar en términos del voto. 2014 es el año que viene y 2016 en 2 años más.
Sí, no se los va a olvidar lo que vamos a hacer, vamos a salir en números.
So we received a message from his office yesterday that said that he is in favor of legalization for some of the undocumented people living in the United States, and he believes in a bipartisan measure. But he voted no because he was upset because that amendment was not included in the bill.
That amendment is sabotage, and he's a smart enough man. He's a smart enough elected official to understand that. And if you put your name to the Cronin bill, Democrats and Republicans alike realize that. So we don't want that as an excuse.
And his own Republican colleagues, friends, are voting on the bill. Jim Edgar, we just had, Sun-Times had a story where Jim Edgar and the business community are urging him, I'm sorry, Tribune? No, it wasn't, I read the Sun-Times, yes. Okay, so, both newspapers, and maybe many others, but they urge him to vote yes on the bill. So, también el gobernador de antes, Jim Edgar, también quiere que también, y los amigos que son de negocios le están diciendo que también vote sí para el bill de inmigración.
Charles, to your question, I think that it's necessary that we collectively, elected officials, in particular Latinos who have been working on immigration reform at different governmental levels, to give the support for us to present ourselves and let him know, look, you know, you're from a state. I think there's a reminder here, and it has to come from elected officials. And if he votes for it, if it changes, if it's all good, no, it doesn't end, because I think then there's a continued communication that has to occur between his office and all the elected officials. So that.
And we look forward to having a working relationship. If there's issues of immigration, we have experts. We have experts that can answer a lot of the questions that he has.
Do you know if he's consulted any of you or
Any community organizations or elected officials?
Latino public officials?
Not that I know of.
This?
Not here.
No, we don't know of any consultation of leadership in the immigrant community. What is striking about the vote that he...
Better change of class.
Yes, teacher. What is most striking about the conduct of Senator Kirk is the fact that he would side with the most extremist and clearly anti-immigrant forces in the United States Senate. For a representative from the state of Illinois, this is unconscionable, particularly in light of the fact that the most important businesses and employers in the state of Illinois have come together and have rallied around the cause of immigration reform as being good for Illinois and being good for the country. Furthermore, he has been lobbied by his own Republican colleagues in Illinois, like former Governor Jim Edgar, who have concluded that this is in America's best interest and he ought to do better. We expect much better. We expect leadership from Senator Kirk. That has not been demonstrated. This issue is a litmus test for the immigrant community in Illinois, and we expect him to change course.
If the issue of the border is more of an excuse, question is, what do you think is really going on with Mark Kirk? Why would he vote in that direction if the border issue was really pretty much settled, even among the people who were very concerned about it? Can you please repeat the question somehow?
What, you know, we can do all kinds of speculation about and motives for Senator Kirk's conduct, including the fact that he's seeking to stave off a much more conservative primary opponent when he is up for re-election. We think he has gained significant standing over the past year across the political spectrum in Illinois. This is about leadership. It's about the future of the country. It's about what is in Illinois' best interest. Senator Kirk is out of touch with what is going on in Illinois and in the country.
Okay, so that leads to the question I have for Alderman Solis.
Can I answer that in Spanish and then, thank you. Sí, el senador Kirk no representa los intereses ni el futuro ni del estado de Illinois ni del país. Lamentamos que lo que puede estar ocurriendo es que el senador Kirk haya votado de esta manera para tratar de impedir un contrincante ultraconservador dentro de las filas del Partido Republicano cuando le toque a él la reelección. Es un insulto para nuestra comunidad que él pueda entretener estas maniobras en el Senado de los Estados Unidos cuando depende, su acción va a determinar el futuro de tantas familias en el estado de Illinois y de la comunidad inmigrante en todo el país.
Charles? Yeah. I mean, this is a difficult question even for me to ask, but one of your colleagues has suggested that his disconnect might be the result of some of the health problems that he's had over the past 18 months or so.
You know what? I mentioned his illness in my initial comments, and I just didn't pull that out of the blue. My brother-in-law had a stroke at about the same time that Senator Kirk did. And he's not as recovered as Senator Kirk has, but we can communicate, we talk. And one of the conversations I had with him is that after this happened, he realized that what life is all about to him, and the importance of family, and the importance of appreciating what you have. And the reason I made that connection is I wanted to connect it to the 56,000 young people that have already been deported, and the 1,100 people that get deported every day. Because these are people very much like him. They have hopes, aspirations, they have relatives, they have kids, and I would think that this period of time that Senator Kirk suffered, where basically the nation rallied around him, that might give him a little bit more empathy as to the condition of these immigrants today. And I also tried to connect it, or Cynthia did, connect it to the knee-jerk reaction of his in terms of the African American community, that you're just going to take 18,000 people and put them in jail. So I'm telling them, hey, remember what you went through this past year, and start considering how that connects to humanity, to human life in this country, and what this country is all about.
But in terms of there being some,
Maybe there is. I mean, maybe his recovery is not quite there yet. I don't know.
Okay? Thank you. Okay, thank you.